Or tenderloin. And then there's
Been money.
Thank you.
Devon Larratt is 7 weeks out from his match against Gennady Kuikwinia from Georgia. At 48 years old, Devon Larratt will be pushed to his limits, and this match will be a testament to his strength and perseverance.
Lightweight stuff, just keeping my tendons healthy. 5 or 6 rounds like this, just small progression in the weight. And then I have a second part that I do, just kind of focusing on my grip. But everything is really easy. It's just all just movement, volume, base, just to stay healthy. If I was totally healthy, I would lift way heavier and get way less reps. But unfortunately, at this stage for me, I just have to keep things healthy. I came up with the theory that so much of it is just about blood flow. Like whatever stimulus you give it through arm wrestling or heavy work, the blood support has got to be there. Like you have to just keep the tissue pumped as much as possible. So. And I do a lot of emphasis on movements like this, like the rise. I stack the rising in almost everything I do. Stack rise, stack roll.
Do you still do push-ups, Devon?
No.
Never?
No, man. I can't. It's so funny because I used to do so many push-ups.
Yeah.
I used to do so many. But no, I don't. My elbows are screwed for a lot of regular stuff. I try and keep my arm wrestling stuff together as good as I can, but no, man. I had a chest workout with Leonidas while he was here, and oh my God, I was sore for like a week. I was going really heavy in my lifts. Probably like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I noticed the problem is my bicep it's still not healed. Mm-hmm. So I was pushing and I felt it shredding more, and I'm like, I gotta be careful. Gennady's as good as he is and as strong as he is, I think I should be able to use my weapons against him. I should be able to. And I keep my thumb pumped all day. I wake up with a thumb pump. I can't wait until I actually rest. I'll train right through. So we're 7 weeks out. I won't take a day off. And I'll hopefully put it together in such a fucking awesome peak like my arm is always kind of beat down. But when I take, you know, those 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks off kind of at the end, I think my hand will just be like freaking steel. That day, I think I'll be very strong. I mean, I expect Gennady to be strong too, but it's gonna be a good fight. I'm tired of Canada losing to Georgia. Very tired of it. I tell you, that's a tough squad, those Georgians. Like, it's a tough arm wrestling squad. They love it over there. And you know, it's not just arm wrestling. I mean, they've got the #1 weightlifter too.
Oh, Lasha.
Yeah.
Tallahatse. That guy is a freak. He's like Levan almost.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Georgians definitely, they know strength. They understand strength very well. This is more of like a hook, like an inside, like a hooking pressure.
Yeah.
Right, just a subtle difference where it's coming from. Right, so it's got a supination end to the lift. Right, so that way, you know, there's that protection of your shoulder. Back to just standard rise, which is, you know, it's just so important. This is the one piece. This is the one piece right here that if you fail here, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
So this is a mixture of pronation and rise?
This is mostly rise. I mean, there could be a tiny bit of pronation, but this is pretty straight up rise. It's right on my knuckle. Yes, it is folding over the other side of my hand. It's, yeah, maybe rise and just a hair of pronation. This move right here is this move is how you beat a press. A flopper, especially. Like if you have a flopperist opponent, this is, anytime you want to use a press, this is like one of the main entry points to the press. The two moves I would train if I was going to be, you know, inside dominant is this one and the first one. So this and this, right? Boom. Okay. That's very, very, very important. But I mean, I don't think you should ever train for like one move. I think what you see me do here is very complete. Right, this is a very complete kind of base hand style, you know. When you talk about, and look at this is hand for press, right? This is using your hand to get in the best position. I mean, so much of the press, depending on how you think about arm wrestling, people think that, oh, I got to be strong in a press. No, you don't. You have to be strong to get into a press. You have to be strong to set a press. Once you have a press, the finished piece is relatively easy.
Absolutely.
It's the positioning to get yourself there, which is the extremely difficult part.
Rising is important, right? To get to the press.
God, rising is important to get into anything. If you don't have rise, you are going to have a terrible time in every single motion in arm wrestling. Yeah, rise just sets up everything. It sets up it. You're not going to win a match on rise, really. I mean, well, you are. Rise is so important, but rise, its big power is it leads to other things. When you control the top, which is typically rise, you know, the other person has to run down, and then you get to use all the options, and you force them into a corner, and you get to use just everything. If you don't have rise, you cannot really use your arm the way you want to, or any of the rest of your body. It gives me a good pump, you know. Normally you'll see me do heavy belt lifts through the rise and through pronation. And sometimes I'll do some cupping stuff also. Like you'll see it, like it's on the floor right there. Like that's my rise, all right underneath you. Yeah, this is my roll right here. And this is my cup. So that concludes the first part. That's 6 sets. 6 sets. Now I do grip, thumb, reverse, and tricep. Yeah, and that balances out the arm. And this is just a normal flushing workout done at intervals throughout the day, just to optimize healing in the connective structures and the tendons. But here's my absolute favorite exercise these days. Right, this is the best one here. This is the real secret to my latest gains.
So this is not even pronation. This is just the ability to clamp with your thumb.
It's just
and pumping it.
Total bodybuilder, arm wrestler, thumb builder. Like, I'm just, at this point, this is just vanity. I'm just trying to make my thumb stupid big. Like,
John does that too. John Brezink does this too, right?
I don't know who does what, but it's, look, John has like the biggest thumb.
Yeah, and he does a similar exercise. He takes a smiley ball and just squishes it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of guys do thumb work. I mean, it's. I'll tell you, man, the thumb is so important in arm wrestling. And this is, my
kickback. So this is important in the King's move.
It's important in all rising, regripping, strategies where you give away cup, it's very important, and it's good just for general health and fitness of the wrist area. So a lot of what you see here, this is just really general. Like, I mean, it's just general arm wrestling conditioning. Like, I kind of work almost all the pieces throughout the course of this workout. I've got my grip, rise, cup, roll, supinates in there, some sinking is in there with the tricep. Nothing's hard, nothing's too difficult. It's just push blood, push fluids, so that when I do rest, my body will have all this energy from being used to being just working and being broke down all the time. When I give it a chance to rest, it'll just super compensate, and I'll crush Gennady. Just like that. You got hook training 3, you got all these big drags that people are doing, and here I am just pumping my thumb, Grab onto somebody and you feel their thumb like very strong, that's an immediate concern. I do worry about my bicep. Like, I have stretched it a bit. Yeah. Fine, it's totally perfect, actually, So now I just have to take all that trauma that I did, heal it. Like, when I was in my 20s and early 30s, like, my tapers and my vision was way shorter. So, like, I mean, when I started talking about 2.5 weeks for like the outer end of my taper, I was like, oh my God, that's forever. Like, I remember, like, when I was really young, like when I was like 25, like, taking 3 days off was like, I was like, what, 3 days off? Or like 4 days off? I had a tournament on Saturday, I'd be like, okay, I'll do a hard workout on Monday. Grip is, in arm wrestling, it's kind of used all over the place, especially in strap. I find grip and strap is of very high importance, because in strap, a lot of the stuff can change. A lot of the angles can change, but if you have the grip locked down, there's not going to be any cementing of your improvement. Like, it can be brought back quite quickly. So, I mean, even if you get your wrist blown back and you're all stretched out, as long as you're holding still in some capacity, there's not going to be like a solid gain. So you see with this, I started my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so I'll alternate which finger space I do it in. Yeah. So I just kind of go through all my finger grips just to change the pressure slightly.
So this can be used without the straps too, right? Kickback.
Oh yeah, but it's going to result in a slip or re-grip, yeah. Look, if somebody wants to try and hook me and I get to do a kickback and then I do a big swing around, like it's going to be hard on their wrist. Oh my God. And if they can do it, then they're going to beat me in a strap, outside of a strap. It's not going to matter. Yeah, when things are close, they're probably going strap. Very likely. Very likely.
Slightly heavier. Your
Yeah.
final set.
More. I'll do this one and then one more. Yeah. Now, like all my tricep work that I've done over the past few years, it's either through this, through sinking, a little bit of supination. Sometimes I'll do it through the thumb. Okay. Those are my three kind of tricep entries. I'd say mostly it's through a little bit of supination. Mostly it's this one. And I just do it. Look, at most of the hard work I do, it's on the table. Yeah, back when I first joined the Army is when I really got into push-ups. So I'd be like 21. And I was just doing tons of push-ups, like all day, like every day I was doing push-ups.
Yeah, I love push-ups. I'm a huge fan.
Really healthy.
Yeah.
Very healthy exercise. Yeah. Yeah, good for the whole body, really. I mean, push-ups are great. But yeah, I haven't done push-ups in such a long time, you know. But yeah, I used to do like a set would take me more than an hour. Like, yeah, like I'd be in the position for like over an hour sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, the way it worked was when I first went to basic training in the regular force, I did like a fitness test, and they did all our scores, sit-ups, run, pull-ups, all that stuff. And I did like, I don't even remember, it was like 35 push-ups or something, and I was so upset at myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I am not a 35 push-up guy. That's not gonna be me. So I just started doing them, and we started to do this thing where it wasn't just me, like a lot of the guys wanted to do good push-ups. And so we do them together. So one guy do 10, the other guy do 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7. And we'd be holding while one guy was pumping, the other guy would be holding. And when you start from 10, that's 55 push-ups. So we were basically doing sets of 55 push-ups while maintaining the position all through the day. And then at night, there was a whole bunch of us, and we would at night try and do like a higher and higher number. So, you know, we'd start from 11, then maybe a couple nights later we'd go for 12, 13. And I think our course started in like October or something like that. And the numbers would go up and up and up, and guys started to fall out. like I remember towards the end there was just like me and like one or two other people, and then at the very end it was just me. I was the only one doing them. And I still remember it very clearly. It was the day before we came home, Christmas vacation. We had like a week or two where we got to go home and see our families. And we were watching a movie, like everybody was watching a movie, and I was in the back. I was doing push-ups. And that night, I started from 25. I got all the way up, so I was starting at 25 push-ups. So 25, rest, 24, 3. And so that works out to 325 push-ups when you start from 25. And I remember I stood up from doing it, and everything was just pumped like crazy. Like my whole my whole upper body was engorged. And I'm not just talking about like the things you would think, like even my back muscles, everything was just completely pumped. I get that same sensation now when I arm wrestle, like at a seminar, like a whole bunch of strong guys back to back to back to back. That fully feeling of just like fully pumped, fully engorged. But yeah, I remember that time I was like, man, I'm like, this was incredible. And after that it changed for me. When I realized I could do 325 push-ups without, you know, stopping really, it became very aerobic. Like I could just pick a number, like 500, 600, whatever, and I could just do them. Basically, at that point, they're really, you know, it wasn't really, it became more of a cardiovascular activity than a failure point. Like I had the ability to recover, like in the up position. So I'd be up and I could kind of rest on one, rest on the other, you know, without breaking the plank. But I found that I could kind of stay here somewhat indefinitely, you know, and recover. So yeah, it's long ago, man. Now I have no recovery position, right? That was back when when my arm was in a straight line. So yeah. Okay, so this is my last set right here. Then I'm good.
Last set.
Yeah, this is my last set. I'll just do grip.
What's the heaviest you've gone on high cup?
High cup?
High cup.
I probably have it written down somewhere, but I might even have a video that would probably be more accurate. But
just approximate.
I don't know if it'd be. I'd guess it was probably somewhere around 150 or so.
150 pounds.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But the thing is, a lot of times what happens is I start to cheat a little bit. Like, so say I'm doing like high cup, like, so there's a big difference between like, see like this here, this would be like what I would call like a really standard grip, you know, for high cup multi. This is how the exercise should feel. But like if I want to get crazy, like I can just bring it a bit lower, okay? Like if I bring it just a tiny bit lower, oh, yeah. Okay, it brings it off my wrist a bit and more onto my arm, and it's gonna be more. So, I mean, the base of that exercise is the ability to bring your arm close to your body, and you can put as much hand into it as you want. And you know, like ultimately, like if you're tied to somebody, like if you are tied up to them, your ability to do this is super important, with or without your hand. You know, if you can just do this like crazy, that strap connection is you're coming back one way or another.
Cup is like 250. No,
I don't know if it was 250, but it was certainly over 2. Like I remember that I was definitely over 200. I'd have to go back. I haven't done it in such a long time, you know. But yeah, low cup is like more of a total grunt move. Like you are coming forward, and
it's my favorite exercise.
It's a powerful move. Low cup multi spinner, that is shoulder coming forward with hand control. It's great. It's a great exercise. Okay, so is high cup. They're both really, really good.
Where I would have actually put some of these.
So this is your second workout of the day?
Yeah, this is another just nice flushing one. I just do it with bands. Yeah, I just go from like lightest band, and I don't even get that heavy, but it's all just basic movements.
Just pronation, rising.
Yep, rising and pronation, and I throw a little bit of elbow stability in now too. Sometimes I just do the rise and the roll. Like I just pay so much attention to my thumb, like just the turn. I don't need to think about the whole arm wrestling match. I just need to get a dominant or some kind of position to work off on the opening. That's the only point of uncertainty. I mean, you know, you arm wrestle for 30 years and the whole match is, I don't have to think about it so much. I just need to have the best opening possible. And it's just, that's all I think about. It's just controlling the hand, and hopefully not giving away too much shoulder position. But that's what I do. I'll give away shoulder position to break the hand. And that's how I kind of get into the match. You know, yeah, and I just feel like that's the most efficient point to start from. It's the most efficient point to start the whole fight from. Control of the hand at all costs. Whatever, my shoulder position or whatever, I'll deal with that later, you know. Get a person's wrist to bend back. Hook is even a form of hand control. Like, I mean, I would sooner, like if I wasn't able to get hand control, I would sooner King's move. Like, yeah, that's, I mean, what I'm trying to achieve is a high hook. That's my goal, like to be high and to have my wrist bend in. This is total domination. If I can high hook anybody, there's very, very little chance that I'm going to lose that match. Very, very little, almost none. But if I cannot achieve a high hook, I'll get rid of the hook part first, and I'll keep a high, and I'll probably run into a roll, right? So I'll do some form of open top roll all the way to a King's move. I think that's probably my best defense. Yeah. I mean, there's the odd case, like there's the odd person where it's better for me to try and hook them or press them. But this is a rare. Now my strength is much more in my hand, you know, as a result of my training and whatever. Yeah. It's a really big match for me. And there's a good chance. There's a very good chance in this match I'm going to have to come forward. I don't think taking the hand will be enough with Gennady. He's too good without his hand. He has the ability to flop, he can push, he can drag without his hand. So I'm sure I need to come forward at some point. Not just to finish, but even just to compete properly. Like I'm going to have to go conventional at times with him. He's too talented just to think that I'll be able to burn him out in an outside top roll. I think he's too skilled. So I need to have, that's why I'm doing a lot of this, because it's just going to be necessary. It's going to be necessary.
Yeah. Once you take his hand,
yeah,
the goal is to press him, right?
Absolutely.
Climb up and press
100%.
him.
Because if I don't, he will press me. Opana. Walk, arm wrestle, eat. What are the other good things you can do in life?
Arm wrestle again. And sleep.
All the great things, yeah.
Very massive.
Massive. Some things might be sacrificed for ultimate power.
7 weeks out.
7 weeks. 7 weeks and I've decided that I am an old man and I need my rest. Hey, it's funny. Gennadi's not that much younger than me, maybe 10 years. But he's not been through half the problems, I can tell.
7 weeks out at 270 pounds this morning.
Yeah. I think 280. Yeah. You know what? But I'm really gonna rest a lot. I'm just gonna rest and let my body be just as healthy as possible. Just not feeling anything. Just loose, snappy. If I can take his hand, it's done. A lot of different ways to make your body do what you want it to do. Most powerful athletes are able to shape their body purely through thought alone. You have to be very brave to play with those ideas. Kensai is approaching it. Kensai, you're really just doing the things you love to do. You walk, which is probably one of the most healthy activities you can do. Walk, permitted activities in Kensai: walking, loving, and fighting, eating and resting. This is it. This is your life. I would be capable, I don't live at the same level, but I'm capable of putting things together on a day that perhaps even exceeds what I was when I was 33. As long as you understand that things change, stay flexible, continue to draw enjoyment from it, so you're not working, right? It's not your job. You're doing it because you love it. And I think so long as you have that motivation, we'll see. I'm 48 now. I'll be 90 years old. Still in the King's move. Unbeatable at 90 kilo. Unbeatable at 90 kilo. When it comes to supplements, I take a few different things. I take vitamin C a lot. Like quite often, when I drink, I'll just throw a gram of vitamin C in. I just take the effervescent, and I'll definitely average at least 2 grams, probably more like 3 in a day. So that's probably pretty normal when I'm at the house. I don't take the stuff with me when I'm on the road, but normally when I'm at the house, I'll take minimum 2, more like 3. And I could have a day where I had 4. And that's pretty normal. I'll take vitamin D on occasion. Maybe like 5 grams or so. Maybe I take fish oil. And I'll just take a swig, a couple times a day. Take a good shot. If I eat cereal, I'll add whey protein to it. I will typically, I have creatine monohydrate in pill form, and I'll just a couple times a day, maximum 3 times a day. Normally I'll take a pill, and a pill is like 1.25 grams, so I'll take less than 5 grams of creatine a day normally, and that's pretty normal.
Fish oil, how many milligrams do you think you take? How many
pills? Oh
pills?
no, I'm taking grams. I'll take a shot. Yeah.
How about natural supplements like turmeric or cinnamon water?
We have all that.
Yeah, you take a lot of it.
We have it. That stuff normally Jody puts in my mouth. When I go to the cupboard, I don't normally get that stuff. Jody will make me eat it. Most of my life I have a match. It's very important sometimes to not have a match. when I'm doing a match, I have a goal, I have a mission, and I move towards it. And when I don't, my only goal and mission is to kind of have fun and do the things I love to do. Now, if you're on track, you'll do the same things, right? Like if you're living your life properly, you'll do the same thing no matter what when you wake up. If you have a match, if you don't. So yeah, it's important to kind of at times not and at times do, just to be sure you're on the right course. I sometimes, when I have a match, I sometimes tend to do too much. Sometimes. No, you know. So I wake up in the morning and I like to look for, obviously I try and make myself stronger. I think the things that I seek outside of that are just, like I'm very extroverted. So, you know, human connection. So I like to be with my friends and family. Yeah, that's really my only motivation to get strong and to spend time with friends and family. That's it. There's pluses and minuses at all the ages. When you're very young, you're very strong and very resilient, you know. And this is coming from someone who's trained their whole life. Okay, like I mean, I fell in love with strength. I was very young. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, I loved strength. I had a weight set when I was like 14, but even before that I was training. So when you're young, you know, your health is high. You have very high health and you can do a lot of things really well. I think you start to harden, you know, even by the time you're like 25. Like I remember when I was 25, I was starting to beat everybody. Like, you know, 24, 25, that's when I kind of became the best at my weight category and even into the supers in Canada. But I think, you know, there's stages, you know, there's one thing, there's things that continue to grow and then there's things that kind of peak. Most, I think, would agree that most people who fight hard their whole lives have their first peak, I'll call it, at early 30s. Yeah, I mean, 2008 is when I won the World Championships. I was 33 or 32. Yeah, 33. And at that time, so at 33, I was super dangerous. So like, I wasn't really injured. Like I had injuries, but they didn't affect me. And very healthy and strong, in all ways. But you know, you get injured, and your injuries get worse. If you're a person who's been playing hard their whole life, I mean, but typically by the time you're in your late 30s, you have some really bad stuff going on.